The Vanities are a Glasgow-based band made up of 4 teenagers: Alan Hanna, Robin Brown, Lewis Blakeman and Craig Fellows. The band has become well known in the Glasgow band scene and show no signs of stopping anytime soon.
This song's called Skag Boy.
I grew up in a place called Penally in Glasgow, sort of small kind of place, just tiny, but it's not the nicest of places, but it's where I grew up. Yeah. I was introduced to music from quite an early age, I think, which is something to be grateful for. But some of it good, but like at the same time, there's maybe some stuff that I'm not going to share with you that I used to listen to when I was younger. I think we were all that way. But I was introduced to good music at quite an early age due to my dad's music taste, so it wasn't all bad. We started using 3 weeks in and out, he started abusing, and never got as bad. Then it started listening to it and getting something from it. I think probably when I turn about 13, that's when music started. I started listening to it in a different way. I think we all do. I was actually shown to punk music at quite a young age. One of the first albums I owned, which I was given to, was the best punk album in the world. It was a compilation, 2-disc set, and the opening track was Anarchy in the UK with the Sex Pistols. And I mean, I didn't have any idea what it was about, but it was loud, and I just, from the moment I kind of heard a song like that, brilliant. But songs that kind of stood out to me, There She Goes by the Lads, I would say was probably one of the songs that I thought, one of the few songs that I thought was perfect pop music, and I wanted to write a song like that, was There She Goes, I'd say. The first album I actually bought when I started getting into music properly was probably something like a Libertines album, maybe up the bracket, but the Libertines, their first album. The Libertines were one of the first bands that could fuse punk music and punk energy along with melodic indie music. You know, they sounded like if the Clash were to play Beatles songs, and those were 2 of my favourite bands, the Clash and the Beatles, and I thought, well, this is something I'd ever heard before. Can't Stand Me Now by the Libertines was one of the first songs I heard that I thought, this is just the best thing I've ever heard. And I think that lasted with me, and now when I play music with the Vanities, it kind of, all of us are influenced by anything that Pete Doherty does, or Baby Shambles, the Libertines. When you start listening to music all the time, I think everyone gets that age at 15, 16, where music kind of, you start seeing it in a whole different way, you know, it changes the way you dress, the way you act, you know, it's such an influence on people. And then you start listening to songs that are changing your life, and you're thinking, well, I mean, if they can do it, why can't I? And you start playing it on your guitar, and you play covers all day, and then you just start experimenting with, and I mean, it's never good at first. I mean, I'm pretty sure the first song I wrote was you know what I mean, but it's trial and error. So I'd say probably 16, because our next single that we've got coming out just now, which is one of the first songs I wrote for us, I think I remember writing the riff for that the day I got back from Tea in the Park when I was about 16. I got home and I wrote that, so. Johnny's a Reject or Codeine, which were 2 songs that have pretty much been consistent in our set list since we started, you know what I mean? I mean, the first song we wrote was just probably garbage, you know what I mean? But Johnny's a Reject, I'd say, I wrote that and add something to it, and I remember bringing it into the rehearsal, and it was just me and Robin at the time, my guitar player, and he loved it. and then I liked it as well, but I've quite a knack for 2 weeks later not wanting to hear anything that I've wrote, do you know what I mean? It's quite, so I went to him and I wanted to get rid of it, and he basically told me that if I was, well, to put it nicely, that I was an idiot if I were to get rid of Johnny's a Reject. And now it's pretty much everyone that comes to see us their favourite when we play it live, so yeah, it's a good live number, yeah, so well done, Robin.
And all the boys and girls sing la da da la da da, la da da la da da, but not him. Oh, Johnny Calloway.
It was always there when I was about 13, but it wasn't realistic back then. And my parents are quite old-fashioned, my mum particularly is quite old-fashioned, that if you're not out bricklaying at 6 in the morning then you've not got a job, so you don't really tell people that you want to do that stuff. But when you reach about 16, 17 and then I started performing in bands, I thought, you know, why couldn't I do something like that? Because, I mean, musicians aren't grown in a field, just everyone that at some point said, I can do that, and they do it, so.
Here comes the film, yeah, here comes the reason my fun was killed once before was.
I've known Robin for 4 years maybe 3 years. We knew through friends of friends, so he's kind of local to me, but we put up an advert for Craig the drummer because we needed a drummer. Eventually got sick of just playing with 2 guitars in a rehearsal studio, and luckily Craig replied, and Craig knew Lewis, the bass player, and then 4 of us started the band. Yeah, I'm quite specific, which is quite bad sometimes because I've got a really strict idea of how it sounds in my head. I have a completed song in my head, you know what I mean? So if it doesn't necessarily turn out the way I think it should, then it kind of bothers me. I mean, we have a song called She's Shambolic.
This song's called She's Shambolic. It's about when your girlfriend's had 1 too many to drink.
Which we've finally settled on a version of it after about 7 times of changing the key, and changing the drum beat, and changing the speed and the tempo. But we've kind of finally figured on something out. But when you first have your first set list, when you play live for the first time, you have a mismatch of songs that are not in any style. Do you know what I mean? It's just everything. But once you start growing as a band and you develop your own sound, anything you write just sounds like you. So eventually all of our songs started sounding like us. I pretty much, lyrics are probably the ones I don't get hung up on most, but I have lyrics sheet after sheet lying around, fit the lyrics around the tune, so I've got sheets and sheets of lyrics, and I'll write something like a good chord structure or a riff, and then I've got so much to choose from. But I mean, the stuff I write about, you know, like all the stuff I was writing, I was about 16, so you write about stuff that's close to you, do you know what I mean? I mean, I don't really think you can romanticise too much. And you can romanticise stuff like Lament or, you know, Vitriol, but you've got to stay close to home.
Vanities. This song's called Codeine Cheers.
It was at Broadcast in Glasgow. It was in August of last year and it was sold out. Yeah, I was absolutely bricking myself, yeah. You just got to bite the bullet, don't you? There's no really other way to do it. There's no plan or warm-up you can give yourself when you do your first gig. The wait, I mean, that whole audience was all our friends and family because it's our first gig, so we sold the place out, and it's quite a dingy venue as well, man. The ceiling's that high and the audience are that close. But all my family and friends had never heard my singing voice before, never mind the fact that at that point all the songs in the set were mine. So I'm showing them my work and my singing for the first time in quite a weird environment to do that in. Oh yeah, Lewis is one of the best bass players I've heard ever sat in a room with and played with. He's just such a melodic bass player, and he just gets the music. He's got such a wide taste in music as well, and he's already, if you play a song twice to him in its entirety, but the third time he's got a bass line. But we play quite punky music, it'd be easy just to go hard on the E note, but it's brilliant. I don't really think we look too much into playing a song or doing push-ups. We just kind of go, right boys, let's do this. Finish the rest of your drink obviously first, then get on the stage, get it done with. It's no use wasting the stage manager's time or the other band's time or sound man's time. Just get on, do your set and party.
This is getting out of control. Thank you very much. We've been the Vanities. I hope you enjoyed Pretty Vicious. Nice one, cheers.
When they're singing words back to you that I wrote in my room when I was 16 on an acoustic guitar, it's pretty takes you back at first. And you remember, I do remember when it started happening, because it's just an overnight thing, do you know what I mean? When it first kind of starts, you're singing and it's just you playing to a room full of faces, and then all of a sudden I'm singing Johnny's a Reject, and then the chorus is a lot louder, and then you look and then you see people singing, and then a few gigs more and more people get into it. It's just the way it works.